Alright, welcome back to the show, and I've got this whole porch cleaned off. Well, I got everything off of it. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the power washer and this broom to clean all the dirt and whatnot off of it so I can seal it. Because I was never able to seal it last fall when they did it because it was too cold. And obviously dirt and stuff is built up. So I'm going to clean out these grooves, which I got them pretty cleaned out with the blower. But now I need to scrub this with a brush to get all the dirt and stuff off. And I'm going to use my power washer just to apply water and wash it off. And I'm going to use this 65-degree fan, so there's not going to be a lot of pressure, and I'll keep it off so it's not going to damage the concrete. But my goal is to get this cleaned off today. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow, and then I can seal this tomorrow. So once I get this all clean and sealed, then I got some things in the garage I can set out here under here, and then I can do the same thing inside the garage. So I guess we're going to get started here. And all I'm going to do is take this, you don't want to use like a steel brush. This is like a heavy bristle broom, which will do just fine, loosening up the dirt. This isn't dirty enough that I need to use any cleaners. They make quite a few different cleaners. They make an acidic cleaner, they make an alkaline cleaner, they make a pH neutral cleaner, and there's a bunch of different things that each of those will clean. And all I need to do is apply some water, brush it, and then rinse it off, and we should be good to go. So that's what we're going to do. That's it. I think it worked pretty good. I saw quite a bit of dirt coming off. When you're sweeping, but sweep with the broom marks of the concrete. So these go this way. So I was sweeping back and forth this way. I feel like the bristles get down in those grooves a little bit better if you do that than going crossways across the broom marks. Like inside, I don't have any broom marks, so I'm going to use a mop in there. In the garage, I got drains on the floor, so it's not a big deal, but in the house, I'm just going to have to use a mop. And it's a smooth finish, so it's going to come clean pretty good. It's just going to, I'm probably going to have to mop it 2 or 3 times to get it all up. This will dry pretty good this afternoon. As you can see, that's already starting to dry down there. And then the sun's going to beat in here the rest of the afternoon and dry this off. And then tomorrow morning, I'll seal all this. Alright, everything is good and dry here on the porch. So I got a roller, because if you get this on too thick, you got to roll it out. You don't want it puddling. So many puddles you just roll out with a roller. That's just a paint 3/8 snap roller. I got it on an extendable hand. I got just a little sprayer, and I choose to use these little ones because they're really cheap and you can just throw them away when you're done. And then the sealer I am using is a product called Pentrahard Densifier, and it is a penetrating sealer. So it will penetrate into the pores of the concrete and react with the concrete, creating a barrier. So I'm ready to fill this up and start spraying. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it all out first, and then I'll come back and spray it. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes and this first stuff's starting to dry. And if you look where like I first trimmed out the edge, there's that little line. That should disappear when all this dries up. If I did it right, so we'll check it out here in a little while. I got this whole front part done. I just got to do these 3 sections right here, and then we'll be done with the porch. And by the end of the day, it should be, well, it should only take about 20-30 minutes to dry on the surface. Here's the contraption I made to put up against the steel when I was spraying that. It's just a piece of aluminum trim coil. I stapled it to a little 1x and then screwed a handle to it so I could just put it down up against and spray up close, and so I wouldn't get it on the metal. Alright, that's pretty much wraps it up here. I'm just going to get a wet sponge, make sure I got it all. Go around and see if I got any overspray on the steel, which I don't think I did. And then I just got to do the outside edge. But we'll come back this afternoon and I'll show you. This should all be dried off and it should all look even. What happens is the reason you get these lines right here, don't panic, because when I edged this out, that's where the edge of it was, and then that started to dry, so when I sprayed the new stuff on it, it's already not allowing that new stuff to penetrate the concrete because the reaction has already taken place. So this should all even out, and it'll all end up being back to the original color, so no need to worry. It should all even out. Alright guys, this is all dry. As you can see, all those lines are gone. And I'm filling these stress cuts with the self-leveling joint filler. So I got all these little ones done all the way along each post. Now I got to do all these ones on the middle. To make this go a little quicker is put duct tape, thin layer of duct tape on each side. That way I'm not worried about getting it on the concrete. I can just do a few passes and then wipe it smooth with my finger. I'm going to let it sit there for a couple minutes and then I'll pull the tape off and see how we did. You see that tape does a really nice job. It does take a little time to put the tape down, but honestly, it's way faster putting the tape down than just trying to fill that freehand. And then if you fill it freehand, you can't run your finger down along there to smooth that down, which slows you up big time. So it ends up being faster doing the tape. So we're just going to do that all the way down. So I'm going to run tape, and then I'll fill all these gaps. So the stuff I'm using is, I don't know how you actually pronounce that, Econoflex Pro. It's self-leveling expansion joint filler. I get it from Menards. It's got a depth max of 1 inch, and it's got a width max of 1.5 inch. So this one's ready here. I don't know if you can see, let's kind of see how it's tacky. That'll get you a good line when it gets like that. So we'll go ahead and pull this off one side at a time. Definitely worth filling. Alright, so that's it. I got 5 done. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. And so I'm going to finish those before I go home tonight, and they'll be drying up tomorrow that I can move the rest of the stuff out of the garage out here on the porch, and then I can clean the inside of the garage and do the same thing in there. So I would love to hear anybody's ideas or tips on how they do this. This is how I've always done it. It just seems like it's a real pain in the butt. I mean, I get good results, but if anybody else has good tips on how to do this, I would love to hear. I know they do have some like closed cell foam strips you can put into these cracks to help fill some of that void, which these cracks are too small to do that. So I was kind of thinking maybe filling them partly full with sand and then putting that in. So if anybody's done that, let me know. I'd love to know how you guys do this and how it's turned out. But I got 5 to go, and then I'm headed home. All right, hopefully that was helpful to somebody. And I just want to thank everybody for their comments and their tips and tricks that they leave in the messages. I'll give you an update on the electrical probably beginning next week. My electrician's coming back out. There's some things that we have to adjust, which is no big deal. And with the help of some of the subscribers, I think I got a really good plan, and I appreciate everybody's comments. So we will catch you on the next video.